What are your three key pieces of advice for New Zealand businesses wanting to crack the US market?
Recognize what you've got that's unique and don't try to commoditize to be, cheapen yourself, because you have a cut above. What that means to me, of course, is organic. I see enormous opportunity. So I am not only meeting with business people here, I've been meeting with your ministers, your new Minister of Agriculture and Food Safety, your new Minister of Environment. Met with my own ambassador to talk about the imperative for a national standard, a national organic standard here. In the U.S., we had a fledgling organic industry also ourselves some 15 or 20 years ago, until we got a unified national standard, one seal, sanctioned by the government, not by business. And now today it's a $50 billion sector, and it's growing double digits every single year. Big opportunity with organics, big opportunity to just communicate better your inherent strengths. Grass-fed, access to this incredibly clean environment. The third piece, which is don't spoil it. The world, particularly the millennial consumer, who's really driving consumer products in my country, but really around the world, is all about transparency now. With social media, they can get information in one moment about anything. You've got an incredible story to tell. Just tell it and don't spoil it.
How big is the growth opportunity for New Zealand?
You get about a second and a half of the consumer's attention. It's crowded. On the one hand, you see this looming U.S. market. You say, it's huge, all I need is a tiny piece of it. But it's also crowded, and it's crowded by big players, sometimes masquerading as little. Shelf space is precious. And if you're over there with one little SKU or a couple of little items, you're going to get lost. But if you can unify yourself with that thing that people see every time, NZ.
Tell us about Blue Apron. What's the philosophy behind it?
Going hand in hand with this new emerging consumer is the fact that there's new emerging channels. I think you call them food bags here. Yes. And this is a category that didn't even exist 5 years ago. Blue Apron, I'm on their board. For example, this is a company that's gone from zero to over $1 billion in sales in just over 4 years. And what they do is they provide a kit that comes to your door, and you can have 8 or 10 choices of vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian, organic, not, omnivore, meat, the whole. And you can pre-order for a family or for you and your spouse, for 2 people. And it's fantastic because there's no food waste. Above all, they're absolutely dedicated to sustainability and what they call regenerative, organic when possible. So it should come as no surprise that they buy all of their beef here. Why? It's grass-fed. It's not certified organic necessarily all, but it is clean beef, and this is again what this consumer wants.
New Zealand meat, what is it that sets it apart from other producers, including the United States?
Well, again, the grass-fed is huge, and this gets back to what I'm saying. Don't lose your uniqueness. You've got non-GMO. Keep that. Most consumers may not understand why, but they know that animals are not carnivores, they're herbivores. They're not supposed to be eating corn and feed. We in America have found that this is a convenient way to pump up cows. We bring the food to the animals. You bring the animals to the food. Your sheep, your cattle, your dairy cows. When you break down this new consumer, what they're interested in, taste is going to be number one. What's in it for me is right up there. So absence of pesticides, absence of GMOs, absence of negative things, healthier animals.
What about synthetic foods? Does that pose a challenge for New Zealand?
What I would say is that, again, look at the demographics of your category, and it will vary by category. But in almost all cases, the fastest growing consumer is that under 35. If you're selling kids products, that is your group, right? 100% of new kids are being born to millennials, so baby foods and kids foods and so on. That consumer wants to know, they want less ingredients, they want no artificiality, they want no processing or minimal processing, they want clean labels.